we are gearing up for one final game on this Sunday. That is right. Method and Fnatic have taken it all the way to Game 5. We have a tied series 2-2, and someone's going to have to pull out a win. Caldor, who's going to win it?
No idea.
Yep.
None whatsoever. This is exactly what we hoped for. It's super close. And also, just think about it. Fnatic really wants and needs this win, right? If they lose again, that means that for the second time, they've lost against one of the top 4 teams by dropping the 5th map. So that is probably going to come back to haunt them if it happens. So they're going to make sure that they're going to win this. But can they? Method has looked strong. They had a couple of really great picks, good adjustments in draft. And depending on map, looked very dominant. So it was a constant back and forth here.
Well, Battleground number 5 is ready. Yippee, as we move in the Tomb of the Spider Queen. The final map of the Best of 5 series, and that's a little bit worrisome, actually.
Yeah, that can snowball quickly, and we have seen both of these teams getting snowballed, actually. Also comes back to, are we going to see Tracer here? Is Method still allowing Tracer? Shrimpy has now played the hero for 3 times in a row. And I mean, to be fair, Method won Braxis, but if you don't get that Lornado off, Fnatic has that in the bag. They got the kills, they had the lead in the experience, they were looking good after those 2 forts were taken out. That's when Hammer all of a sudden needs to overextend heavily to get any value outside of pushing with an objective. So the Lornado definitely victorious here for them as the boss gets stolen. If that doesn't happen, the Tracer is worth it again. And so are they going to ban her this time, 4 times in a row? That would be the case if Fnatic claims it again.
For me, the question is Yrel worthy of a ban or trying to take away here for both of our teams? And every time that Yrel's been picked here, it's been a win for our teams. In the 4th game, or I'm sorry, the 3rd game, we didn't actually have Yrel picked up. But still, she has been a powerhouse. More so, it feels like for Ethereal, he's really kind of dictating how he wants fights to break out for the team. So something to consider here as we head into Spider Queen.
Alright, some questions are going to be answered here pretty quickly. Medivh banned out for Tomb. Don't want to have those heavy portal rotations into lane. And yes, there it is. The Tracer ban coming through. Method absolutely done with the Tracer shenanigans. But Tacita is still picked right away. So the vision on the map, the double support setup, can see it with Vala, can see it with other heroes. Fnatic is saying, okay, we're going to make a double support happen here. And we're going to make it happen with Tacita to get the vision.
So last time that we had Tacita grabbed early, Genji Abathur was answered back. Now, obviously things change a little bit with the Battleground being up. Abathur not one that you usually want to pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Abathur is actually a hero that they picked, or that ADRD picked with his old team Zealots on the map at the Western Clash, and where they said, hey, this is a map where we played actually really well with Abathur. Couldn't really translate that, bring it to the Western Clash, but back then they felt very comfortable with that. So while Abathur is not really big on Tomb of the Spider Queen, if anyone pulls it off and uses it, it is going to be ADRD.
You can't count out all the heroes when it comes to ADRD.
Yep.
The guy that's played Nova on Braxis Holdout, Gazo on Sky Temple, Probius on BOE. He definitely has affinity for weird heroes. Yrel and Genji comes in. So the Yrel will be going over to Method.
And Genji for the extra pressure towards the bot lane. Yrel already strong enough to take most matchups, but Genji is going to try and deliver a few kills here. Especially since Genji, of course, can also jump onto Tacita when he's low. So that's a scary rotation that we have for Method right on the start. And Fnatic, are we going to see the hyper carry now? Or are they going to adjust later? I mean, I'm game at this
here?
Yeah. Honestly, I just want to... Main is most likely going to play Tacita again.
Sure.
So that means we are looking for a hero for Shrimpy. For me, Vala is extremely likely. Shrimpy played Vala already several times. And then we could see Breeze. Could see the tank taken here early on.
Vala likely because of how strong she can be on the Battleground. Multi-shot build allows for you to get that wave clear available. And then, of course, the damage that you ramp up to towards that late game when you're scaling with the composition.
And that's also, again, just Fnatic saying, I could have seen that Zeratul composition here. I really, at this point, I'm looking at it with how impactful Zeratul was. I could have totally seen that they're not going for it. There we have Vala, and as already hoped for, we have Fnatic taking Breeze's hero first. They go for Johanna in this case, trying to create that extra space, not going into Diablo or into Muradin. But I wouldn't be shocked to see a Muradin banned with how consistent Method was in picking Muradin early on. So a ban on Muradin would probably be a good choice here.
Joe giving you a little bit of poke to around the web of return in. A little bit more safer compared to a Diablo if you kind of have to force the issue a little bit if your fire stomp doesn't connect.
Who do we got for last hope, though? Are they playing the Haka here again? We've seen the Haka on Tomb several times, so he played it here as well. It seems to be his go-to hero. are they moving away from this?
I want to see the Taint gets picked up from Method first,
Yes.
but I wouldn't mind him going into Malthael if he needs to.
Has he actually played Blaze already? I don't think we haven't seen Last
Blaze.
Hope on Blaze yet.
Yrel, Arthas, Malthael, and Dahaka have been the 4 heroes he's played.
Because especially with the Vala composition, I mean, I know, the extra sustainability, I still enjoy that, but yeah, Malthael could also be a hero for them. They got banned out, leaves us with Malfurion, which is likely going to be picked by Method. Then I would say you can either go, nah, you're going to go Rhaegar most likely.
I think a Muradin ban here for Fnatic.
It feels like, it's a question of how much they respect him. I feel that Muradin is definitely going to be the pick of choice for Method. Question is simply, does Fnatic, do they care? I
feel like you should. Muradin and Yrel together has shown time and time again that when they find the target, that target is usually going to be killed off. And you have a Genji on top of that, that is layer on layer on layer.
You have to really think about what is going to threaten Valla here. What's going to be the big deal for her? Muradin can fill that, but there's also Diablo to consider. I mean, this is Tomb of the Spider Queen. Diablo gets a lot of value. And they actually ban on Malfurion. They deny Malfurion to them. And yeah, okay. Trying to play Method is basically thinking, hey, we banned that card. Then we get Malfurion, and they'll have to pick up the scraps. And Fnatic is saying, you know what, we have enough heroes they couldn't pick from here. This makes these fine, so we're going to deny Malfurion to you. Have fun with that. You're not going to get these free interrupts with the Moonburn, and you're not going to zone us out with the rules either.
So what's going to be the pickup for ADRD? I'm assuming we're going to get Muradin for Bad Bunny.
I think that's a pretty safe pick.
Yeah. Trying to think of other heroes that he's played. I mean, Avatar has been mentioned, but I don't think he's on Tomb of the Spider Queen. He's played Maev. He's played Hanzo.
I think Hanzo is a fair assumption.
Yeah. Brings in the poke. Gets the engages.
I mean, we have seen him on Genji, too.
It's true.
So I actually think, no.
I'm ready to find out.
I'm honestly at this point just waiting for someone to again throw a curveball here. We had a couple of great pick adjustments already. There's Stukov. I think he's going to be on Genji. Muradin, shocking.
Chromie is up, and they could play that here. Chromie Genji comp.
Yeah, ADRD can play that too, exactly. Both of them can switch around between the two heroes. You have already a Stormbolt into a Silence now with Stukov.
Yep.
So that Stukov setup, first of all, it takes Stukov away from Fnatic, and that's a hero that they might have taken. So now the thing is just you have to be careful of how you play around this. This is actually going to be a bit tricky because you're right. Chromie is a good choice for them. If you get a jump into the backline, Stormbolt connects, he gets the silence in, and then Chromie hits the combo, Genji zips in too, like you're basically done. So that's a huge threat right now. If you can play around it and put the pressure on Stukov instead, then yeah, you're fine. But this is definitely going to be a huge worry.
I mean, it gets to the point, too, where Chromie, if she gets a random prediction on where Tassadar is going to be with that Dragon's Eye into a Sandblast, he's dead.
Yeah.
He has such a small health pool, so. Fnatic?
I think you go Rhaegar here just simply because if Chromie is being picked, then you have at least a cleanse available.
There we go. So Leo and Rhaegar. First time seeing Last Hope on Leoric.
And I mean, that the more I look at it, that just screams Chromie, right?
Yeah.
You have Yrel with wave clear. If you go Chromie, you are a little bit low on the wave clear potential. That's the one thing that would concern me slightly, where you can think, okay, do we go into another mage and pick something else here?
Jaina can do it for you.
Yeah, but in terms of just like blowing up stuff and really following up on any kind of Stormbolt lurking arm setup through Muradin and Stukov, Chromie looks strong, and they can definitely shift ADRD. Either he can play Chromie or he can shift over to Genji. We've seen both depending on map and composition.
Jaina
instead, yeah. More
wave clear.
More wave clear. Needs to get a little bit closer to the action. And now that cleanse is taken, the temporal loop is also not quite as attractive anymore. So you go into Jaina instead. Still burst damage, but needs to be a bit closer for it. So it's a bit more of a risk in that sense. But I like the adjustment given the wave clear. The problem is, it's the 5th map you're playing on Tomb. If you miss out on the first objective and you get out wave cleared by the opponent after that, then it's just over. If you pick Chromie here and you get the initial kills and you snowball, then it's all good. But if that doesn't happen, then the comeback potential is nearly non-existent. So Jaina is a lot safer for that.
Okay. Pick a winner based on draft. What do you like for the draft?
I believe in Shrimpy.
Yeah?
I say Vala takes it. It's an execution question, because if Method gets the Stormbolt into Lurking Arm setup to get the kills through Jaina, then Method wins, just straight up. Fnatic has better wave clear, and if Shrimpy plays his cards right, has position, and then they take it. That's what it comes down to.
I think Method has really strong control over the early game.
Yep.
And they have the ability to find kills with Genji, and if they can do that, they can run it over. But I think if we get to late game, Fnatic's 20 is insane.
Yeah.
Let's go over here and look on the left side. In the blue, ADRD playing Genji, Kirsten on Stukov, Nick on Jaina, Bad Binny on Muradin, and Ethereal back on his girl, Yorel.
It's also tough to tell because we haven't seen Last Hope on Leoric yet. To the right side, Mena on Tassadar, Breeze on Johanna. We have Shrimpy again on the hyper carry. This time Vala, Smexy on Rhaegar, and Last Hope on Leoric.
All right. This is for all the marbles here.
Yep, when we have the burst potential on Method, I mean, it is definitely there, no doubt about that. You have a Muradin that wants to set up the Stormbolt, Stukov that is happy to follow that up with a Lurking Arm, and then it's just all about Genji and Jaina providing the damage. In the 4-man rotations between the mid and the top lane on this map, this is an extremely powerful setup that can give you early game kills. And if one of those kills is against Tassadar, against Vala, any of the squishies, then you find yourself in an amazing position here. But Fnatic has a huge amount of wave clear with their composition. Every single hero in that arsenal has good wave clear, and they have also a very strong Vala player. The main question is just simply, can they keep her alive? And Vala already in a bit of trouble. Shrimpy moves out, but the counter kill against Genji as the attempt of Method to get the early first blood fails, and Fnatic turns it around.
Fnatic turns it around, find that first blood as you mentioned, and we'll look to be able to soak up the experience. And Johanna hits here just in time. I do want to note we have a bit of a change on talents here at level 1. For Jaina, typically we move into the Regen Globe talent, but instead we're getting the Winter's Reach, trying to keep Jaina at a safe distance away. And she'll have an additional range on her ability to drop the Frostbolt.
Full machine gun build incoming.
Yeah.
Bit of a safer poke there, as you said. Okay, camp at the bot lane is taken. Fnatic just getting it in time. And Shrimpy again. He toes the line with his hero, and he has to. He needs to work in these auto attacks, and he has to be close. That's where Mena comes into play. He needs those shields to be ready to make sure that Vala has that space, has that survivability to get the damage output. Already, one turret down. Good start for Fnatic into this one. Method is really in a bit of a pickle here, trying to defend. We pointed out the lack of wave clear earlier. Now Jaina's down at the bot lane, and that means that Nick can help to clear these waves, and he has to. He needs to make these rotations quickly.
Yep, he clips the Giants, and he has to head straight back to the middle right away. Leoric's already splitting the pushing between middle and top. Actually getting the upper hand so far, soaking up a lot of gems, and he needs to be careful here. The DRD and Bad Binny are trying to find a kill.
Yeah, but Last Hope is doing well with this. And Fnatic again, just shifting the rotation meta. Having Leoric now focusing on the mid and top depending on where they rotate, and they themselves use the 4-man, just push out. And again, rotating Leoric down this time and starting to take over control in the middle at the top with their 4-man.
Experience lead goes over to them because of it. 4 3/4, 4 1/4 here for Method. Ooh, Arcane Intellect actually coming in at level 4 for Jaina. Wants to make sure that she continues to not have any issues with her mana, but
mana sustain for the fights as well.
Yeah, that's why you typically go into that level 1. But looking to make sure to stay alive in the fights, poke from afar, and make sure to help with the wave clear. And to be fair, the wave clear is her main focus, and she doesn't want to put herself in a position where she has to grab a Regen Globe.
Alright, camp now taken. Last Hope actually anchoring this a little bit. Not really helping out with anything, but making sure that if there's an invade happening, that he's going to be ready to help out. Doesn't really have to do a lot here, though. Meantime, the gems are turned in on the side of Method, so they make that work. We have Stormcaller, by the way, on level 4 now for Smexy. So, also, mana sustain. Very important for him here.
Lightning Shield doing damage will give you that mana. Ethereal and ADRD tried to prevent Last Hope from turning in. One of the issues with Last Hope being in the middle and the top lane the entire time is he has soaked up the majority of these gems, so now he is a prime target to be picked off. And
this is another big push, by the way, with that camp. And again, we're coming back to Nick having to rotate to deal with a lot of these waves. So that's another tower that's just down, and they break through the gate. So Fnatic definitely setting themselves up for a really good push once they get the Web Weaver, since they take these structures down already. The question just is, can Method find the kills? And we come back to the wave clear issue. Jaina has to rotate whenever something like this happens to work it out there. The problem for Fnatic is really that at any point when Method gets a good combo off, they can find the kill. And Method is looking for it right now. But they have to deal with Shrimpy down here. And Shrimpy and Mena are rotating together so that Shrimpy can use the shields, first of all, to self-sustain himself through the life leech, but also be a bit more aggressive because he knows that Mane is going to help him out and also softens these lanes.
Both teams have a turn in. Ooh, but hang on.
That's the kill.
Tassadar could be picked off. Bad Benny tracks him
No.
down. He's jukes to the top right. Smexy comes over, gets him a shield and a heal.
Mane has this, Mane with his own shield there as well. I thought that was a guaranteed kill, especially with how well Method split. Once that they saw that Tassadar was forcing a dimensional shift, they had one rotate to the left and one to rotate to the right. So no matter where he goes, we got him.
Yeah.
And then Smexy comes in, has the heal, the shield comes out, and Mane survives. But that was a really close call, and that could have been a kill, and they're trying it again.
Trying to go for it.
Mane is playing with fire here.
He is. He needs to be careful. One more E and he's down. But Method did buy some time, and they get the first turn of the game. It all comes down to how Fnatic will handle these web weavers that be pushing in. Will they fall victim to anyone? They do have great wave clear between Leoric, balling out the multi-shot build, and Tassadar.
Great synergy on Mane as well. He goes for the best skin for Tassadar. He goes straight into the Mecha Tassadar, but he realizes that the plane, the little airship here, is still not superior to the money pick. So absolutely perfect composition. Gives him the extra 10% movement speed that he deserves.
That he does. Schwimpy, however, needs some help from his teammate.
Yeah.
Gets a shield, taking damage from ADRD. The bottom lane's pushing in pretty well. Now, Fnatic did focus most of their attention on the middle side, so they'll be able to get that cleared up. At the top, that's where the main story is. Bad Benny comes in, finds the Stormbolt, goes for Last Hope, and he can't walk away due to the silence as Person helps secure the kill.
That's exactly what we talked about earlier. These quick kills with a combo, and he just had no chance. He needed to activate that Wraith Walk way earlier. Wasn't cooldown there, so that's an entire fort that goes down. Method walks away with entire level lead. Full level at this point. And they are half a level away from level 10. This is fantastic for Method. They're looking very, very strong here. Fnatic wants to fight before 10 is there. They go for Curson. Can they get that kill, though? Breeze is moving away. He knows he can't get it any longer, but here comes Curson. He tries to turn it around. In comes a Zero, and that's 22 gems lost. Schwimpy gets a few of them. He's now at 41, but that was a desperate attempt of Fnatic to get that kill before 10 hits for Method, and it fails. Now Method is an entire level, a talent, and they're close to a second turn in. Fnatic recovered a lot of the gems, but they're definitely on the back foot here.
And this could be a large problem. With Schwimpy having 43 gems on him, your hyper carry will have to go for the turn in, which means if your hyper carry is not able to put out damage, Method will be able to push the issue and try to force a fight. And if they can catch him in the middle of a turn in, 43 gems lost, that could be game ending.
Absolutely.
For Fnatic.
Schwimpy, he needs to be so careful here. And it's weird because he wants to be aggressive, but now he's in that spot where they're just saying, hey, if Schwimpy dies, then it's basically lights out. But they have level 10, Archon, Blessed Shield, Ancestral, the Entomb is there. And now they need to look for a turn-in themselves. 51 gems have already been turned in by Method. You don't want to give them the double turn-in. You really try to make sure that the next Web Weaver wave is yours. So Fnatic has to fight for this one. But Method is looking really strong and setting up for another potential kill. And it's all up to Curson to have that lurking arm ready whenever the initiation happens.
Another jump on Breeze in the middle. He'll be fine, gets the Iron Skin. And one more gem needs to be dropped off by Method to get the turn-in. Whereas you look over to Fnatic, they need 14 more. Trying to find an opening window to go in for it, but no one seems to get the opportunity. Vala's putting some damage on Bad Benny here in the bottom right of the Murden, and he continues to buy some time.
Yeah, Vala is very much alone there, though. Leoric is also really dropping in HP. Fnatic might have to walk away from this, and that will hurt. Benny, on the other hand, is also hurting here, and Schwimpy went in deep to try and get the kill. The blue Web Weavers are once again moving onto the map, though, since Jaina was able to drop the last few remaining gems. Method already more than half a level ahead, and they are going to try and snowball this now to level 13 with the next objective.
Jaina got the top lane pushing in, so that means the Web Weaver going for a keep. Leoric should be able to clear that out, but the rest of the attention to Method can focus on the middle fort, the bottom fort here, open this map, make it harder for Fnatic to disengage if fights aren't going in their way.
And again, the main damage dealer is Schwimpy, and he has 47 gems. If he falls, and it's going to be difficult to keep him alive throughout all of this. If he dies and there's the attempt, then it is more or less over. Schwimpy is able to get away. Archon gets popped as heroics come into play. Web Weaver, the bot lane, still doing damage, but the middle is about to get cleared.
Impressive he's able to get that vault away, to be honest with you. Almost locked down completely in that silence from Stukov, and the shield, of course, from Tassadar was just enough. The bottom lane is taking damage, and that'll be a nice chunk of experience, while Bad Benny dodges out on the Blessed Shield. Breeze not connecting it, and that's going to be the fort in the middle lane.
They're jumping in again. Schwimpy on 47 gems at this point. Another 4 down. They're going to lose the one at the bot lane. 2, it's already gone. And that's now a 1.5 level lead for Method. They are on 13. Fnatic is going to try and play safe. They're going to try and soak. They're going to try and get that 1 level and then fight on 13. The one thing that works in their favor is that Method doesn't have any gems, but Method is just not letting up with that pressure. They're immediately transitioning up to the top lane where they are going to try and make a play for boss. They're just waiting for the Web Weavers to be cleared out, and then they're going to attack the boss immediately.
And Bad Benny's going to slow down the rotation as much as he can here, trying to catch the attention of Fnatic. Not going to do anything too risky in terms of allowing for him to get picked off, but buying just enough space for Method to blow up that boss, and they do.
I mean, these are no-brainer plays from Method's perspective. With how pushed out all the lanes are, with how limited the vision of Fnatic is, they're making the perfect plays here, and Fnatic just has to accept it. I mean, Fnatic isn't a bunch of dummies. They're just sitting there saying, like, yeah, we know you're going for boss, but we can't contest it at this point. You have 13 already, and it's just too powerful with Muradin having all that sustain, especially when we're fighting the on-point fight, and Urel comes in with her Alder Peacekeeper on 13 and gets the damage reduction against Vala. We're not going to break through that. So they have to accept it, but it's also something that you can allow this, simply because the boss is so early in the game. 10 minutes, you can deal with that.
With the boss pushing on the top, it'll get cleared up by Vala, but with Vala not being here, Method opens up the gates in the middle. Meanwhile, also farming a few more gems. They have 40 to 60 they need. Looking over to Fnatic, they have 113 gems waiting to be turned in. Because they can secure one, maybe find a kill here, open up the map. They can come back here, but it's starting to get hard.
Fnatic is in an okay spot if they get those turn-ins. That's definitely true. And now Method, they have controlled a lot of this game, but they need to win another fight. If they win another fight against Fnatic, then they have basically won this series. But this is really where it comes down. Tidal waves on 13 now. Reducing the cooldown here on the chain heal. And this is Fnatic, they have to go for it. Stormbolt again, completing the quest. Bad Benny, here comes Breeze, tries to zone all of them out. And the Red Web Weavers are descending, but they need to escape from this one. Water Elemental is being popped. They're trying to slow them down. Here comes Vala with the ult.
Bad Benny on the bottom right, dealing with Last Hope. Drain Hope does come out, but Fnatic survives. They get the turn in, they have a big wave bottom lane too.
Fnatic is exactly where they want to be in this case. They turned in, and they survived the onslaught afterwards. And they also baited out Water Elemental. So that's a cooldown that just got burned by Method. This is the moment when you're trying to get value. You need to start and close this experience gap. You have 2 turn-ins, so you can make that work. And Shrimpy still has 50 gems. That's another reason why you want to turn in again. Let's Shield connect this time. And here, the Dwarf doesn't have the cooldown. He can't jump, but he can still use the Avatar. AD jumps into the backline, and here comes Tukov with the Lurking Arm, trying to turn it around against Last Hope and Breeze. Not quite working out here. Once again, the Drain Hope connects with Muradin. Benny jumps out, but in the meantime, the Web Weavers broke through the wall. Fnatic is going straight for the fort, and this one is going to fall. Bot lane, they're trying to defend that, but the rotation has already started as Fnatic is trying to get more value.
Jaina cleared up the top lane, so that'll be nice for them. They are getting experience off of this Method as they work towards that 16. They may have to consider giving up this other fort as well, but they are rotating all 5 down. Ethereal primed and ready to jump in. He does jump in and forces the fight.
Yeah, Ethereal is trying to go for it. Yeah, Benny is looking for that Stormbolt now too, and he finds it, but only against Breeze. That's not a problem. Shrimpy with a turnaround attempt, and they take nearly the second fort. Not quite. Shrimpy actually falls. He moves forward and drops it. Nearly overextending there. But Method not able to lock them down. Here comes an attempt again just to force that fight before level 16, and they get the fight. Curson, on the other hand, is pushing them back. The Entomb not doing enough here. Fnatic on the run as they realize that 16 is going to be ready for Method any moment. They don't want to lose their gems. They still have 115.
Ethereal with a 3-man jump. Water Elemental comes over the wall as Muradin's coming in with a flank. We'll have Bad Benny with a Stormbolt. See him in the top right corner. He wants to try and find a target. Leoric could be that target. Here comes the knockback. Damage on top of him. Last Hope getting low, but able to escape.
If they get the kill against Ethereal, that would be fantastic for them. Ethereal trying to use the Divine Pick here to rush away. That didn't quite work out. But they save Last Hope too, even with the Lurking Arm. Really, I mean, we've only seen 3 kills, but this game is pretty crazy.
Back and forth, that's for sure. And the turn-in, though, available for Method. Dropping off their gems, and this is where they'll start playing for some keeps. Remember, they did open up the middle keep earlier, so there is no wall there. They can definitely make a play. Ooh, Mene uses a dimensional shift in the top lane.
The escape at the bottom was actually so close. I mean, first of all, Fnatic wanted to force the fight. But then as Method approaches 16, they were just trying to get away from this one. And with all the gems that Fnatic has, if they just survive and get the turn-ins, they are going to be in a great spot here. They started to take that gap down in experience, and all they need is 16. Method is going to try and take a keep. But then Fnatic has 16 after this onslaught, and they need to somehow come back into this. But here comes Method, and they're going to get a keep for free. This is an easy one. Fnatic just gives it up. They're saying, hey, we can't save it all. We need to give something up here, and they're going to give up top.
There it is. 17 comes in, Fnatic close to 16. Freeze and Bad Bunny. Tussle here, Bad Bunny continuing to buy space for his team as HGC's 2. The rest of his team runs in the middle lane. They have a turret they can clean up there, which would be some nice experience. A small amount. And then they can group up in the bottom lane and look at that Vala.
Fnatic is stumbling, but they're not falling yet. And 16 is ready. And that's now where you have the Psionic Echo for Tassadar. The Double Storm is ready for him. And also Frost Shot is going to give so much value to Vala. Schwimpy is a bit safer now with this plays. He can continuously poke, and he can control this a little bit better. 60 gems for him. ADR is there. Schwimpy needs to be careful. Here comes the turnaround attempt, but he dodges at 0. Water Element, Londo Breeze. They're trying to get the kill. Divine, she comes out, and they're trying to go for it.
Trying to. ADRD buying some time here, but Vala just dancing really well. Schwimpy
and Tomb
getting these auto attacks in. He has that frost up, ready in a second. Ethereal goes in for the jump, buying some time. ADRD trying to get up to Schwimpy. Archon has been used. Method will back up and try to get away from the Archon.
That's the moment. That's the moment. Benny, gets the cooldown ready. But here comes the approach against, Ardent Defender is already being formed. Ethereal, they're so tanky. Ethereal is there. Muradin the entire time. Great play from Method, forcing that fight first of all, and then surviving through it. Now even interrupting. ADRD is in position. They kill against the Auric, and that's the big one. That's more than 20 gems lost. They go for Breeze, and Zestral comes through. He's still locked in. Breeze is on the run. They go for Schwimpy. That's 60 gems right there. Smexy keeps him alive. Mene wants another shield. Breeze is also on the run, and the Stormball takes him down, and that's 56 gems down the drain. Fnatic is on the brink of another defeat.
They have a turn in. They have 60 here on Schwimpy, and he's still trying to fight here with Last Hope leading the charge there, being able to provide them a little bit of sight. But Method, they turn around, realizing, okay, we've taken 2 out already. There is no main tank. Let's grab this boss. And already they start to open it up. There's catapults moving towards that core. Fnatic on the back foot and in a position where they have to make a play.
At this point, I mean, how do you take this? I don't think they can. I don't think they have a chance here. Not with Ethereal on Urel. Ethereal is taking that boss. They want the kills. Leoric falls. Method is about to win this. The top keep is already gone. They're on the run here. Schwimpy, the Stormbolt connects. The cleanse is ready. The shields come through, but it's not enough. Vala is down. 60 gems lost, and this has to be game. 16 minutes in, 6 kills against 1. A 5 versus 3 on the map. The boss pushing through, and Fnatic is about to lose another best of 5 on the 5th map against one of the top 4 teams.
Without their damage dealer for 24 seconds, Method puts their eyes on the core. The shield already being deleted here. Breeze himself trying to buy some time, dropping a couple of condemns, but he just can't do enough. He caught their attention, but the core is the main focus. It drops down to 40, down to 30, down to 20, as Jaina brings in the damage, and Method will take the series as they go up 3-2.
Method taking the win here. Fnatic forcing fight after fight in the later stages, but the Ardent Defender keeping Urel alive. Muradin always hopping away. And, I mean, Curson just following it up with one silence after another. Great play by Method. Fnatic throwing everything at them. Extremely resilient.
Yeah.
But once again on the 5th map, Fnatic loses the series.
Heartbreaking losses for Fnatic, both against Team Liquid and Method now. But Method, uplifting wins for them here.
Yep.
Being able to get a positive win ratio when it comes to the HGC, showing that their teamwork, as they have been brought together once again here in 2018 in the second phase, is really starting to come through, and being able to have the willpower to go all the way to game number 5, get pushed to the limit, but able to secure the win.
And for Fnatic, it comes down to a Lornado boss steal.
That was crazy.
On Braxton's.
Yeah. That was definitely the moment that changed everything.
Yeah. If he has another ult, if he somehow screws it up, if there is an interrupt, then Fnatic wins map number 4 and takes the series. But that didn't happen. Curson was ready. He had the Lornado. He put it into perfect position. They steal the boss. That turns the game around, forces the 5th map, and they take 2 on the Spider Queen of Fnatic as well.
Curson continuing to become a playmaker support. I mean, not even there. There were moments on Stukov where he was low on health, but able to walk away with 100 to 200 HP. His opponent's pushing a little bit too far in, which allows for his team to step up and get those kills. Curson continuing to be a great support here in the HGC. And Method doing well because of it.
Fnatic on